Nadal's 9 titles at the French Open make for a record unlikely ever to be broken. No matter the state of his game, he's always a contender when the circuit comes to town. Through the years, Roland-Garros has been both his palace and his sanctuary. But then came Friday's surprise announcement.
Hello, and I'm here just to announce that I have to retire from the tournament because I have a problem in my wrist.
Last year, the King of Clay was dethroned. This year, the King abdicated. The end of his French Open brought the beginning of the questions. Will Nadal, who turns 30 next week, ever be back at maximum strength and efficiency? Has his body, racked by all the years of toil and trouble and uncompromised effort on the court, finally waged open war? Or, more optimistically, is this another injury he can overcome with rest and rehab? Nadal will always have Paris. But the question becomes, will he ever have it again?
Well, that piece was produced in 2016. As the birds around Jim Courier are saying, will he ever have Paris again? Yes, 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 he will, John. 3 more times, in fact. He's got 12 of them now.
I remember that day in 2016, and we were in the tree house, our studio in the middle of the plaza, and there was an announcement. Nadal was going to have a press conference. Already word had come out that he was going to retire, that his left wrist was bad. He walked in. He looked absolutely disconsolate. You could see from that video we just showed that his wrist was already bandaged. It was in a sling. And he said, I'm announcing that I'm retiring. And I remember there was this gasp. Everybody thought, you know, he's almost 30 years old. This is 2 French Opens in a row where he has not been successful. He had not won a major in 2 years. And then he said, I'm retiring from this event. And everyone breathed a sigh of relief. And it was a real blow to the tournament. You felt awful for Nadal. But honestly, it was at the point in 2016. Remember, he'd lost in the first round of the Australian Open to start the year. I mean, it was at the point where nobody knew if this was really the end. And for him to have won 5 majors and 3 French Opens subsequent to that day, I think is a real testament to Nadal and a happy ending to what was a very, very grim day.
Yeah, John, since then, he's only really had 1 full season. 2017, the next year, after a halting finish to 2016, he did get a full season, and what a season it was. He played terrifically. But 2018, 2019, he suffered myriad injuries and missed lots of tournaments. And yet when he's healthy is still a major contender. I think this is the reality for us right now with Nadal. When he's there, he's going to be very, very good, but he's not always going to be there. And I think about now in this time of global crisis with the pandemic, some silver linings perhaps for some people in the tennis world whose bodies could use a rest. Nadal, certainly someone who could use an extended break while the rest of the world isn't passing him by and winning tournaments without him. Bianca Andreescu, the Canadian U.S. Open titleist, also has had a tough time in her career already, even though she's very young. Maybe this will give her a chance to get her body ready for what's to come. And, of course, Roger Federer, his timing for pulling the pin on the first half of his season was very lucky, as it turns out. So there may be a silver lining for some of these athletes. Obviously, we'd love to see them all back sooner than later. Nico?
Yeah, certainly Bianca Andreescu is somebody we're all keeping an eye on. I love watching her play. She's very exciting. She brings that heart, that soul to the game that we all love. But going back to that Nadal French Open in 2016, I remember coming in, there were rumors his wrist was not okay. His 2 first opponents did not notice it. He lost 3 games in the first match, and then he lost 6 in the second round. We later found out he was playing with an injection, but there was no surprise when he retired. And with Roger out with an injury, and then Rafa going out without playing in the 3rd round, rumors started to go, through the locker room there. What's happening, to the 2 top guys? Is this it? We've been hearing about Rafa's struggles with injuries throughout his career, and he always pulled through, as he did after this one. He's won 5 Grand Slams after that one. But I remember talking to the people in his camp, and they said, well, this is day by day. It certainly didn't look so the first 2 rounds, but it came as a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, Nico, he looked fantastic in those first 2 rounds. We talked earlier in the show about Roger Federer. When he took the time off at the end of 2016, guns blazing start of 2017. How concerned were you, Nico, with Rafa Nadal at this moment, though, in his career? Did you think 5 more majors, 3 more Roland-Garros lied ahead?
Well, we knew if he kept playing, he had a big chance of winning in Paris again. But certainly his resilience through the years, what he puts outside the tennis court on his injuries, that the amount of time he dedicates, we're talking 2-3 hours, depending on what stage he is at a tournament. We know the effort this guy has put in keeping in shape since he was 17 years old. That he started with that bad foot injury is just second to none, and all the credit to him. People do not know how hard his heart had to work to keep his body in a playing shape, and the amount of effort he goes through. People were talking when he was 25, 26 that he only had 1-2 years to go. Look at this guy go, and he's still going strong.
I think, too, that one thing this strange period we're in now is really sharpening for us is there's a real spiritual price to be paid for inactivity. We talk about injuries and we talk about rehab, but really emotionally, it's very tough to sit out and go through rehab and wonder if you're ever going to make it back, and there are financial pressures. I mean, I think with Nadal at the time, a lot of this, as Nico says, a lot of it was about, boy, this guy plays such physical tennis. How much longer can he have this durability? But also just, can he really endure another period of time away from tennis, another period of time in rehab at home? Everybody was looking at his wrist that day when he made that announcement, but I was looking at his face as well, and he was absolutely distraught. I mean, he said at the time, I went and looked up, he said it wasn't even a decision, it was an obligation. That's how bad this wrist injury was, and I think that we give players credit for having this physical resilience, but I think, too, it says an awful lot about these players, how emotionally they can come back from, this is their livelihood. I mean, this is really scary times, and for them to get back out there physically, but also sort of get them placed in a spiritual place to continue, I think is a real testament to tennis players specifically.
Yeah, Nadal also has other things to think about. Remember, he has his tennis academy as well, where they have kids that live there. They've had to shut that down as well in Mallorca. But his resilience, his ability to rebound from all these disappointments. I mean, he's been distraught so many times in his career. It's almost like a feature. It's not a bug. It's something that we expect to see him bounce back from these issues like we did last year at Indian Wells. He was out there after winning Acapulco, couldn't play, had to roll home. I mean, there's just been so many disappointments for a career that has so many ups and so many positives. His resilience on the court is matched by his off-court resilience as well, to just keep doing the rehab and keep bringing it back.
It's something that really sets the big 3 apart. We've seen it from Rafa, we've seen it from Federer, we've seen it from Djokovic, and by the way,
and Murray.
And Andy Murray. And yeah, we'll see what happens when we return to tennis and how Andy can come back. But when we have the rest of the week here, it's going to be a celebration of Rafa Nadal. People are like tweeting me, where's Rafa in the show? Well, you know what? 2017, 18, 19, he won the thing. So the next 3 days, we'll be talking a lot of Rafa Nadal.